Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about Monark. So if you guys didn't know, this is a brand new JRPG that is coming out very soon. It actually comes out this month. And I got to play the demo. It's free. It's out for everybody right now. So go ahead, download the demo. This game's on pretty much everything. Switch, PS4, PS5, Steam, whatever, man. This thing is out there, and this thing looks pretty cool. I have some footage in the background. This is from the demo, so sorry if the footage looks a little bit bad. I actually live streamed this, so if you wanted to go see some gameplay of it, the demo is about 3 hours long. I streamed the entire theme there, if you actually want to go see the entire demo. But let's talk a little bit about what this game entails, who it was made by, why it's going to perform well, I think, and why I'm comparing it to something like Persona, as you see in the title. Well, this game was actually created by some developers that actually ended up leaving Atlus. They made some Meg 10 titles, so if you see gameplay and you see this game and think, oh, that kind of looks like this, it kind of looks like that, there's a good chance the people who made that are the people actually making this. So we have a little bit of, you know, I guess you could say sort of a masterclass of people trying to make this game. A lot of people who just know what they're doing when it comes to JRPGs and stuff like that. And the combat is a little bit different, the story is a little bit different. They're not just copying and pasting the same crap that they've done before for this game. This game actually has a little bit of a life of its own, and I really enjoyed playing this demo so far. I mean, it's still pretty interesting, has their own sort of perspectives on it. It is, you know, a student life type of thing with, you know, fighting demons and stuff. You know, some of the same elements are there, but it does its own justice on trying to make it become its own thing, and I think that's what's important about talking about Monark. And just from what we get from the demo, the game starts off pretty interesting with the story. You know, it's a little bit of elements of what's happening, what character is, you know, what are we supposed to do exactly, what are all these people here for, why are students becoming all of a sudden sick and things like that, why are there demons here in the school. There's the mist, which is where your character sort of goes into and fights all of these battles, and you sort of are kind of a chosen one in certain ways. And I'm not going to spoil it too much because, you know, you can play the demo, and something interesting actually, if you end up playing the demo, you should be able to, you know, move your save file over to the full game when it comes out. At least once you complete the demo, it does say that you can do that, so I'm not going to try and spoil it too much when it comes to the story. But in similar fashion, you know, you also can create your name. You can see that in the gameplay there, but this game has you sort of step into a somewhat silent protagonist when it comes to the story, and your character starts by having some amnesia, and he wakes up around a bunch of different, you know, characters within the Monark, I guess, you know, story, I guess you could say. And you just come out from the mist and you're going back in to fight these demons. You're a pact bearer, which kind of means you sort of are a person who has certain special abilities. Just from the demo alone, we don't know a whole lot when it comes to that, so there still is more to be explored, and there's supposed to be other pact bearers and you try to fight them. This first demo here has you go all the way until you pretty much fight one of the other pact bearers, and completely ends, I guess, sort of like the first arc, you could say. It's sort of a tutorial arc, so there's not a whole lot to it, but still fun. Overall, decent story. I like where it's heading so far. But let's actually move on over to some other stuff here, and let's talk a little bit more about gameplay and gameplay mechanics, and not so much about the story and whatnot, because the story is going to be what it is. So the gameplay is actually different, at least something that I have not played. Now, I know this might be sort of a weird comparison, but there's only one other game that I've played that has been somewhat similar to this type of style. It is technically turn-based, so you can see that there. It is technically turn-based, but you get to move your character around within this actual limit, get closer to the foes. You can actually backstab foes, which means you deal even more damage, which I think I'm eventually in the future going to have a video talking about this game's combat and how to further improve yourself in its combat. But you have like backstab, you can poison enemies, you can sleep or, you know, charm enemies and whatnot, and you have certain moves that you can use within this, you know, playable field, and every move sort of has a different you know, sort of range or scope exactly. Some are like cone-shaped attacks, so your actual view is like cone-shaped. You could do swiping attacks where you can hit multiple enemies within a certain, you know, sort of field of view that your character actually puts on the ground. You'll see whenever I attack, you actually see like a circle or something, or like small around my character, and that's the actual range of the current attack that I have, you know, sort of equipped at a certain attack that I'm currently using. And it's kind of nice to have this. If I would compare it to anything else, and it would actually be like a board game, is it kind of reminds me of Warhammer. If you ever played Warhammer, it's sort of similar to this, where you have a certain amount of like, you know, it's not exactly tiles or tile steps like some like tactical JRPGs and whatnot, but it's actually like a scope or a range that you sort of look out from. And I think that's kind of interesting how they do that. You learn different abilities, and by unlocking new abilities, you actually level up. So that's something interesting also to talk about here, is when you get abilities, your whole character level up. It's similar to like Pokemon in some ways. You have defense, you have attack, you have special, you have these different stats, and whenever you have this sort of skill tree, it reminds me a little bit more of something like Final Fantasy 15, where certain pathways within your skill tree are actually locked. There's multiple pathways you can go, but you can't just immediately jump to a very like difficult skill or an overpowered skill. You have to do some of these smaller skills sort of, I guess, towards the bottom of your skill tree first, and whenever you unlock a brand new skill, your character levels up. So by doing battles, you gain spirits. You can use that spirit to then unlock a brand new ability, and once you unlock that brand new ability, you actually level up. So the progression happens sort of all at one time, whereas something like Persona, and this is the first little comparison I'm going to do here, is in Persona, whenever you actually leveled up, you just gained the, you know, some more SP and some more health. And I always thought that that felt a little bit insignificant. You know, personally, I think it also, with the demons that you could fuse, if anything, leveling up in Persona kind of just felt like a cap, so you just couldn't get better demons, which I never always liked that. Like I said, similar to Pokemon, we get a lot more stats, but you also gain moves at the same time. So think of it as if Pokemon, every single time you leveled up and got brand new stats, you also got a move at the exact same time. But you also can just power up these exact same moves again. So like, I think Accelerating Slash is one you get. You can actually get that to level 2 or level 3, so you could choose to level up a move and also level up while doing that, which is an interesting way of doing that. So your sense of progression is actually, you know, pretty nice. You unlock a lot of abilities at the same time as you are leveling up. So not only do you unlock abilities, but you also become stronger at the exact same time. And it's a similar thing, like I said, to Pokemon, but also other traditional JRPGs and whatnot. Something like Final Fantasy, like I was saying, we actually get a skill tree. So you could see even more progression in the skill tree. So it feels fun to level up in this game. But the protagonist is not the only character that you actually control and level up. There actually is other party members you can have, but also these things called vessels. And it goes off of these 7 deadly sins, which is, you know, greed, gluttony, pride. I'm not going to list them all off because I kind of forget them or not going to get them in order or whatever. But based on how you answer some questions in the start of the game, you are given one of the sins, and that sin is specifically towards yours. And of course, if you go watch my gameplay, you will see that I got Lust, which is kind of interesting. So you get a vessel called Lust, which is also a party member, and you will always keep your vessels sort of with you the entire time, at least from what it looks like from sort of what the demo is saying. You keep that vessel with you while you have a actual human party member as well, sort of helping you out and doing things. So it is nice to have that vessel, and the vessel, from what we can see, also you can add certain stuff to them. It looks like you could add clothing to the human characters. With the vessels, you actually change sort of like the skeletal structure of what they kind of look like, which is kind of badass if you think about it. It looks pretty interesting how you level them up and how you customize them. They also have abilities, which then levels them up too, same as the other human characters, but the vessels get actual different structures. You can kind of build their, I guess bones, or I don't really know what it is exactly. It looks like steel. You can structure those things to actually change their stats as well. So it's not just the abilities leveling them up, they actually can hold different pieces of like armor, I guess you could say, and that flat out changes their stats also. Similar to something like SMT4, where SMT4 you had different slots. You had like a headgear, you know, a chest, and like a body piece or whatever. And depending on what you do with that, it changes what your stats are. So something similar to that is also in here. Like I said, it's not a big surprise if we see different elements from Meg 10 in this, which it could sort of be blending the best of, you know, I guess both worlds or in certain ways when it comes to Monark, which is why I look forward to it and getting my hands on the full game, because the potential is there. There's a lot of potential for this to be something great. The story seems to be pretty good. It is sort of more traditional Japanese sort of JRPG, it seems like so far. The progression system feels good, it feels nice. Having the vessels and the human teammates also feel pretty good as well. The sense of progression overall is, like I said, still pretty good, and I think the biggest thing to take away from this is the combat. The combat allows for so much more versatility because of how you can change your movements. You can also have different party members with you, and you can actually change the placement of where they go. And when you do that, you can set up different types of combos where you have one character strike first, another one could shoot from far away. If you're able to be far enough away from an enemy, you can actually hit them with something. Let's say, like, you know, you have like a throwing knife or something like that. You can hit an enemy with it, and if they're too far away, they can't actually counterattack you. So there's certain things like counterattacks that you can avoid by having long-ranged abilities, which is something that you could definitely consider when leveling up your, you know, character and its abilities and having other party members there with you. You could do a lot of different things, and just having a character next to you while you're attacking an enemy adds a bonus attack because they will also assist you as well. So there's a lot of different combos that you can sort of set up. There's the Mad Meter, which makes your character sort of go out of control if you fight too much, and then the Awaken Meter, but I think I might save that for other videos. This is sort of just my overall thoughts of this, and because it's the demo, I think it's a little too early to talk, I guess, too much about this. I definitely won't give any opinions saying something like it's better than Meg 10 games, it's better than Persona, or something like that. I think it's way too early for me to really know that just from the demo, but I think this thing does have lots and lots of potential. Hopefully you guys can play the demo, get a hold of it, tell me what you think down in the comments section below. If you've already played it already, give me your thoughts on it as well. Like I said, it has a lot of potential going. Characters are nice, story is nice, game progression feels good. I just hope we get to experience, you know, much more grander and faster things with the characters. When it comes to the gameplay as well, I can see a lot of different ways where the gameplay could, you know, have a lot of different things. I haven't seen elevation or anything in that. It's always been a sort of flat board, so hopefully we can experience maybe different dimensions of battles or full-on different things when it comes to like boss fights and stuff like that. You only get one in the demo, so you kind of get what you get, and there's other mechanics, of course, we could talk about too, but overall I'd say this game does have a lot of potential going for it, and if it ends up succeeding very well, I mean, who knows? This could be a sort of game of the year type of, you know, game. I know this year's loaded with Pokemon Arceus and, of course, Elden Ring, but this could very well be up there within, like, a top 5 if it still stays true to its gameplay and its story, because, like I said, it holds a lot of potential. But let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe in this video. Click the bell to be notified whenever I go live again or when I have a new video go up. I've been streaming here lately, and I'm sure to stream more stuff as well. And also follow my Twitch down in the link below. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you on the next one. Thank you all so much for watching.